Hey y'all, Jedi Fuka here, coming at you with another Dragonheir video. Hey, for those of you who follow me, I know it's been a while since I made a video. Been super busy with work and holidays lately. So for those of you who don't know, the way this channel goes is I just do it for fun. So I like to get on here every now and then and just show what I'm doing in the game and some of the stuff that's going on. So for today's video, we're going to do Grave of Venom Stage 9. I'm going to show you guys a lineup that I have. Real quick though, before I get into it, a few things that I want to show you guys is number one, Happy New Year. This is the Good Fortune dice roll. Make sure you guys are coming in daily getting this. It is some free resources. It's not a lot, but it is a little bit. So it's a good, nice little like New Year's thing. And then getting into it, before we get into the Grave of Venom, something that I have people in Discord talking to me about and always asking why I'm not farming my legendary gear. So if you come in here, you're going to come and look at, you can see the upcoming events on here. So in one more day, 9 hours, we get our team arena coming out. That'll be good. Well, if you look right here for my server, in 9 days, basically, we have the legendary forged material drop rate increase. So like in the other seasons, this almost doubles how much legendary gear you are getting, which is going to drop at the same time as the Lunar Halo Radiance event. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting for this to open. Once this opens, I'm going to farm a ton of legendary gear on each of these things. So right now I have a little bit of attack gear, not a whole lot, and then I'll jump into like Grave of Curse and Grave of Rot, and I'll push those up and I'll actually farm it once that opens and I'm getting more for my energy. Now the reason why I'm waiting is for this game you want to really maximize your energy, so you'll know, I mean, we don't get a whole lot of energy. I am saving up some of these drops for once that opens, so that way I can just farm a ton of legendary gear until that opens. My goal is to just level up a couple teams to 100. So right now I have a ice team going. I'll show you guys my teams real quick. I got Ice Radiance, so I have my ice team going. So these guys are what I use for most of my dungeons. I use Oster for most of my bosses, Jillian most of my bosses, Garius most of the bosses, Vorish most of the bosses, and then I use Dritz and Hochador here in my Goblin. Then I have my Lightning Poison team. This is the core of my Vortex team. So right now I use these four right here in my Vortex along with Jillian. I still got to work up to get Vortex a little bit better, but we're pushing about 22 mil with this team. And then I just started leveling up a few Fire and Necrosis, and I'm just leveling these up, preparing for when the next bosses come out. So I want to get a team going in there. I don't have solid on who I'm going to get yet, and basically I'm just farming up a lot of goblins so that I have the resources to level these guys up, and then I'm going to farm some of their dungeons to get some shards in order to do that. So for the Grave of Venom, the only reason why I've pushed up to 9 is if you go into your events, we have the Fortune Seeker events. So guys, when these pop up, it's the only time that I farm this up until the legendary gear starts. The reason being is you get a really good return on this. You get energy here and you get energy at the end, plus the resources you're picking up during it. So when this is out, it is definitely worth farming. And that's why we're making the video today. I just finished farming this, and I decided that I wanted to show you guys what I'm using for stage 9. Now, I don't expect most of you guys to have the same champions that I do, but you can use this lineup right here. So to show you guys what we have going on, I have the 3 up front. They're going to take the brunt of the damage. And the goal of this team is for Oster to try to wipe out these 4 as fast as possible so that my team can then just stay alive and focus on the boss. The main person for this team is Garius. If you have Garius, you can definitely do this dungeon. Let's come in here, load up our gear. As for the rest, Furbath, you could probably switch him out. He's not a super big deal. I'm just using him to help keep Garius alive, and he has a decreased attack. If you do switch him out with someone with a decreased attack. Jillian here, same thing. If you're going to switch her out, you just need someone who's doing the same role, like healing. You could use Corion. I did use Corion before the champion reset, and he was working just fine up on stage 8, which at that time I didn't have stage 9 unlocked, so we just didn't have the level 100s yet to bring Garius up to where he could survive. And then for the 2 back here, Vorish is a big help with that heal, but actually I've had a few times when I had my other setup where he was over here, he would die and I would still finish the dungeon, and he would actually die pretty early on. So what Vorish is bringing is actually going to be using my Witch's Remains. So he has an AoE multi-hit. He keeps that defense penalty 2 on. So if you don't have Vorash, you can replace him with someone else who has a multi-hit, and if you have that Witch's Remains, that would help. If not, your next thing would be the Crown of the Unclean will help you out. And then do your DPS person up here in the corner. Basically, for my DPS, it's just pushing up your crit rate, crit damage, attack as much as you can. As you can see, my stats compared to what I was at when I hit 9 last season are really not that high. I'm only at 70% crit rate. Crit damage is really low. And my attack barely broke 4K, which I'm actually impressed I was even able to do that. But it's because my gear is not that good. We're doing legendary gear, but we have flat stat attack. And just to show you guys how bad flat stat attack is, if I were to put on this epic piece, my attack would go up by 400 just by an epic percentage piece. So keep that in mind when you're doing these builds. The only reason why I'm leaving this one on, honestly, there's not really a good reason, actually. Just throw that out there. I probably should switch that out and get that extra attack, because we're not getting any benefit from this set right here. But we'll leave it on just to show you guys that you can do it with crappy gear as well. So that one's terrible. Now we do have crit rate gauntlets, so that's what really helps us out a lot. We're getting a 3-piece from this, but it does derivative damage. Oster doesn't do derivative damage, so we're not getting any benefit out of this set. So like I said, my gear in general is not that great. I just have on what I have on because it's what I have, because I'm not farming this. So anyways, we'll show you guys the run real quick. This is basically going to take at least 4 minutes, so if you want to speed forward, you can, or put this on going fast, but do some quick explanations on how the team is working. So if you guys are trying to build something up, like I said, the main person for this is going to be Garius. His heal, you'll see, as everyone gets low, he's really keeping everyone alive. And then basically we just have 3 healers here. Furbath helping with the heals, helping with that decreased attack. Jillian with the heals. Now the way the attacks work, you'll see this first attack here that you just see will hit everyone. So even our back lines are going to get hit, and they're going to lose a lot of health, but then they're going to heal up from Garius. And then these next attacks don't hit them. So you'll see this first hit come, boom, you'll see it drops them half health. Next hit comes, it only hits these front lines up here, and the final hit is a single hit that's going to target Garius. So right there. So the way this lineup works is that everyone needs to be able to tank that first hit. The main thing too is that these little orbs, they will slowly whittle your team down if you don't have enough defense. As you'll see, our health gets a little low every now and then. So basically this team, we try to wipe these out as fast as we can. Once they're wiped out, there's no problem with survivability, and it's just killing the boss before the time runs out. So for those of you who are working on a lineup for this dungeon, this lineup works out for you. You just want your first 3 people up here to be one, Garius, your tank, and your next 2 people to be healers, and you just want to build them with a bunch of HP and defense so they can survive. For Jillian, I do have her in an enlightenment chest, so she's still getting some extra heals off of that, but you'll see that her heals really are not that big of a deal. I think the main thing she's bringing is that extra defense up. But if you're using Garius and he has that 20-second defense, the defense up I don't think is necessary. It's just a little extra on there. So come over here, so see my attacks are Vorish and Oster hitting the most damage. Oster's only doing so much damage because Vorish is laying those defense down, so keep that in mind. That defense down helps out a lot, helps speeding this dungeon up. And then our heals here, we'll see it shows Jillian up top. It's more of the timing. Garius is really probably the most beneficial for your healing. As you'll see, like Jillian here happened to heal when health was a little bit low, but that's right before Garius would have healed. So if you don't have her, Garius would have healed up the team from there. So like right there, he healed when we were at full health. So inside the numbers in here, he's not jumping up a lot. But if we were to take Jillian out, you would see that Garius is really the biggest part of the healer. The reason why Garius is so important is that with his defense stacks, he can survive this boss even with crappy gear. So it doesn't take much effort to be able to get a tank in here that's keeping you alive. If you're not using Garius, you're going to need some legendary like defense percentage gear in order to keep your tank alive, because you're not going to have those extra defense stacks, and you're definitely going to need a defense up from someone else. And if you're not using Garius, you probably need healer, 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 damage dealer. So it's going to be like a tank, 3 healers, and 1 damage dealer. But with Garius, it enables you to get that extra attack out of someone like Voresh there. I said Voresh, his heals, they don't really matter in this one. You'll even see on here, he's all the way down here at the bottom as far as the healing goes. He's just there for that defense down. So that's the run, guys. I just wanted to jump in and show this off, show you guys where I'm at on there. I'll try to make some videos when I get a chance. I just don't have a whole lot of time with the new year and taking care of family. So that's why I hadn't been showing too much. But whenever I get around to it, we'll be showing it off. Just quick check to show you guys kind of where my account is at. This is our level 100s. And then we got a few 98s. I recommend to some of you, if you're getting prepped for the next boss, level your people up to like 97, 98. Don't go to the full 100. It'll save you a whole lot of XP to level up more champions, so you'll have more variety when the bosses come. The only ones that I leveled up to 100 were my Vortex team. I got up to 100 because I was trying to get the little extra out of them. Jillian, I actually just took up to 100 yesterday, and it didn't make a difference because she's my healer, so I should have left her at 98. And then I have Oster at 100 because he's like my lead for my Goblin team and for pretty much everything else, which I'll try to make a video show off what my Goblin team's looking like right now, so those of you who are curious. But that's it for today. Y'all have a good one.